What in the name of the 12 is going on, guys? Seahawks Martin coming at you. Wow. Feels so good to say that again. Welcome to the very first episode of Emerald City Sports, the podcast of Seattle sports. And it's not just the Seahawks. We're talking Mariners, we're talking Sounders, and heck, even if we want to, we'll talk the Kraken and we'll talk the Sounders and everything. It's gonna be great. I'm here with the founder of Emerald City Sports, the one and only Joshua Ngo. Thanks for having me here, Josh, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to come back to YouTube, come back to talking sports with you. This is going to be great. We're going to have a lot of fun. So I'm just going to get through what we're going to talk about today. First, the draft a couple weeks ago. So we want to talk about who we're excited to see this year as a Seahawk. And then we're gonna go to the Sounders. Josh is gonna talk about his experience at Lumen Field, witnessing the Sounders win against the Pumas, and then thoughts on Julio Rodriguez, the young, really talented guy from the Mariners. That's all we're gonna go through today. Take it slow, take it steady. Some of you might be wondering, why aren't we talking about the schedule? We decided we'd save the schedule for next week. We want to learn a little more about who we're gonna play so that we can give you a great show next time. So first off, the draft. 2 weeks ago or so, we had a really great draft, in my opinion. A much better draft than what we're used to seeing. We're always used to seeing some unknown dude that no one ever knows who comes out of like some really, really small school, and everyone's just on the social media like, who's this? Who's that? Where is he from? Like, I've never heard of this guy. But this year we actually drafted some people that a lot of people know. And all of these guys are really talented. We're gonna choose a couple of guys that we think and who we are really excited to see play this season. So I'll go first. My guy I'm really excited to see is Abe Lucas, the third round pick. Oh my gosh, this guy is literally a freak. Yes, he comes from Wazoo. I personally, my parents went to UW. I'm a Husky guy. But Abe Lucas, this guy is a freak. Oh my gosh. 6'6", 315 pounds. That is a big load that you've got to push out of the way so that you can sack the quarterback. This guy was already a second team Pac-12 all Pac-12 in his freshman year. He's been starter at Wazoo for 4 years straight, and then he was first team All Pac-12 in 2021. This guy has always been consistent in the tackle position for Wazoo, and obviously he deserved to be picked on day 2. Honestly, I'm really excited to see this guy. He's gonna do great, and him and Charles Cross bringing up the young guys up to play tackle, I'm gonna be really excited to see. His pass blocking skills are really good. As for run blocking, not so much, but I mean, with our running backs, I think it will be fine. He just needs to fix that up a little at training camp, and I think he'll be fine. I'm really excited to see Abe Lucas play, and the awesome thing is he got to stay in his home state, which you love to see it. So, Josh, who's your guy that you're really excited to see?
My player I'm really excited to see is Boye Mafe from Minnesota, an edge that we picked up in the second round of the draft. He's 6'4", 261, and has bigger hands than Kenny Pickett.
Oh my god. But I mean, is that really a flex? Let's be real here.
No. But he was really good with his hands and is really fast, having a 4.53 40-yard dash, and can use his hands and his speed to get to the quarterback very, very quickly as we try to improve this defense that has not been really good the past 2 years. He earned all Big Ten honors in 2020 with 5.5 tackles for loss and 4.5 sacks.
Yeah, that guy, everyone in Seattle sports media is really hyping this guy up. And he got to choose his preferred team. He got to come to his preferred team, which is really good to see. His speed, 4.53 for a linebacker or edge rusher, that is really good. So hopefully he can use that speed to cut that outside lane and get to the quarterback on the blind side. I have another guy here, Tariq Woolen from UTSA. Oh my gosh, this guy is literally a freak. 6'4", 205 pounds, and his 40-yard dash, get this, 4.26. That is crazy. Like DK Metcalf is 6'4" too, and he only got what 4.3. So this is really impressive. This guy, if he can just use his height and his speed to his advantage, we could have a guy that could easily pick off deep balls, easily be able to cover a wide receiver taking double steps or anything. And honestly, with that big body of his, he could easily cover that wide receiver. Now he's probably gonna have to work his way up since he was a fifth rounder. So he's gonna learn behind Sidney Jones, Trey Brown, all the other guys. But I'll tell you, in a couple of years or so, I would not be surprised to see this guy be a starter. He'll probably be at around nickelback or something for now. But I'm really excited to see this guy play. Let's see how he does in the preseason. Well, Josh, do you have another guy?
No, I don't.
Well, all right. Then we're going to our next subject. Josh, you were at the Sounders final against the Pumas where they won the CCL.
CONCACAF Champions League.
Yes, sir. What was your experience there? And was the crowd going obviously the crowd was going crazy.
Yes,
like,
it was.
What was the experience? How did you feel seeing the Sounders finally win CONCACAF? And that's actually the first time an MLS team has won a CONCACAF Champions League Cup.
Yeah. It was electric having more people than like the last few games of the Seahawks season.
Yeah, that was rough.
Holding about 69,000 people, funny number, and breaking the record for most spectators at a CONCACAF Champions League final. It was a really easy game for the Sounders as they put a bunch of pressure on the Pumas securing a 3-0 win. But Pumas had attacked the Sounders physically, having 11 fouls just in the first half alone and taking out two of our Sounders by stretcher.
Yeah, that was a rough thing to see. So for those of you wondering what the score was, it was 3-0 with Rudy Diaz scoring 2 goals and Ludero scoring 1 goal to put that nail in the coffin. Josh, the experience there must have been crazy. Everyone going nuts when the goal happened.
It caused 3 earthquakes.
Yeah, it did. I heard about that. On the Richter scale and everything in the local Seattle area. Man, it must have been great to see the Sounders finally, get that CONCACAF Champions League Cup. And what are you looking forward to for the Sounders?
Yeah, so they're continuing through the MLS season, which they have not been so good. They're near the bottom of the league. But they also have the U.S. Open Cup as well, where if they win that, they can qualify for next year's CONCACAF Champions League. But I hope that they'll be able to make it rise up through the standings. Though we do miss João Paulo, a very good defender, to an ACL injury.
Honestly, guys, I don't know that much about soccer. So if you want to see a if you want to listen to a soccer expert, soccer expert, Josh is the guy to listen to. Yeah, the Sounders honestly have been one of the few things that Seattle sports have enjoyed seeing so far. But there's another team that we're forgetting about, and that's so far the Mariners. Now, as we record this, they are on a losing slide and a losing record. They started off really well too, 11-6, and then they just kind of slid down, which was really disappointing. But we want to talk about Julio Rodriguez, the young baseball player we just brought up, and want to see how has he done so far. I mean, honestly, the best thing about him right now is stealing all those bases. He's gone crazy. He uses his speed. It's like he has a natural talent, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And that natural talent to like steal bases. He's a really good fielder. He's made some amazing catches so far this year. And as for his hitting, It's been average, but that's kind of expected from a young guy who's just come up to the majors. That pressure is really big. And so I'm not surprised right now he's hitting a 255. That's pretty good for a young guy. I could feel like he could honestly become the next Ken Griffey Jr. if he's just able to play his cards right, use his skill, and just hit a lot better and work on his swing. Honestly though, some of those calls the umpires have given to him,
Yeah.
we could go on a whole rant about that, but we don't feel like it right now.
Yeah, he had like almost like a called strike every single game. Like
I
every single
know.
night.
I'm Seattle's the Seattle fans, they are going crazy over that. But other than that, Julio, he's kept his cool. He hasn't gone on any tantrum or something. That's what I like about the guy. He's calm, he's cool, and he's really passionate about this sport, passionate about how he plays. And that's someone you really want in that clubhouse. I'm really excited. In the next few years, you're gonna see him become a big star. Mark my words. Um, so batting average 255, not that bad for a young guy. What do you think about how he could improve his skill?
Yeah, there's a pretty good stat. He's driven in a lot of big runs, 10 RBIs, better than Jesse Winker, Abraham Toro, and even Mitch Haniger, though he was out
Injured and had COVID,
COVID.
yes.
So he's able to drive these runs in with a decent batting average, that's better than most of our team. I think he can go. I don't know if he'll last with this pace the rest of the season. We've seen him have a very slow start at the beginning of the season, but in future years, I think he can blossom to be even better than some of the players we have now.
Yep. Honestly, I feel like they should be moving him up batting average a little, batting order a little more. And obviously he can just go out there at the top, maybe get a walk or a hit, and then watch him steal away. I'm really excited. Even though the Mariners have a losing record right now, hopes are high, dreams are big, and you never know. We'll bounce back. We've had a rough May so far, but you always gotta believe. So that concludes our very first episode of Emerald City Sports, the podcast. Thank you for listening. Next episode, we are definitely going to talk about the Seahawks schedule releasing, and hope you guys subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube, and get a subscription if you're listening to this on one of the podcast sites. Really happy to be back, and I'm really happy to be doing this with you, Josh. I'm Martin. He's Josh, and we'll see you guys next time. Go Hawks, go Mariners, go Sounders, and go every Seattle sports team.